Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
We're officially in February, which is the month of love, I guess you'd say. Just consumerism, just wanting to make you buy more things.
100%.
But, oh well, it's this, I was going to say the summer of love. What's that?
The season of
The
love.
season of love. Well, if you're new here, my name is Melanie.
I'm Santana.
And we are Just One More Chapter podcast, where we talk about books and things related to books. Mm-hmm. So if it's your first time, give a listen. If you've been here before, please rate, review. Follow us on Fable, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and yeah.
Spotify, Apple, if you're listening.
Thank you, duh, where you're listening right now. Please subscribe and also just give a rating and review. I'll say it every time because it really helps push our podcast to have more listeners.
Exactly.
So we appreciate you guys. Mm-hmm. I think for this episode, we're going to start off with a little drama.
Yes. Yes, the Devil's Night drama.
Yeah, can you explain, Santana, the drama currently?
So there was this, I want to say man, but he's kind of like a boy because he's very young. He goes by like Ryan M or something on TikTok.
Yeah.
So he was fan casted as Will Grayson.
By like the book talk community.
Yes.
Yes. He was thrusted upon him.
Yes. So the first time I seen this, he was doing like that filter, where it like changes and picks the character for you. And he was Will Grayson III. Mm-hmm. So he runs with it, and now all of a sudden he decides to start charging for a live reading of the Devil's Night series. $70.
Which is illegal, you guys. Illegal. You can't charge to read someone else's work.
No. I was just like, wow, this is bold.
I couldn't believe that. I came across a girl's TikTok where it was obviously like, what you guys doing? Like, you're going to follow this guy. And then, because Santana and I read these series, but it's been out for, a while now.
A while.
And
Years.
These boys, there's multiple of them. If you go through TikTok, you'll see people have fan casted them, okay? And what I found out was that this Ryan guy, at first he didn't like it.
Yes.
He did not like it.
Yeah.
He kept saying like, please leave me out of this.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with this.
Exactly.
And so for him to go from that stance of like, I don't want to be fan casted with this character to like, let me just lean into it and I need money. Yeah. So let me charge you guys.
Exactly. It was originally $70. Now he's knocked it down to $20. But the video he made stating like, I'm going to be doing this live reading, he took it down. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if he's still going to be doing this anymore because I'm assuming Penelope Douglas was like, no, I will sue your ass.
I will sue your ass. Exactly. And people started tagging Penelope Douglas.
Yes.
And this was her statement on Instagram. Mm-hmm. She says, just to answer questions coming in, I am not being compensated by anyone redistributing my stories through live reads on TikTok who are charging for this content. No one has approached me for permission to do this. I encourage you to be careful about subscribing to any services at this time. I will know more after I speak to a couple of people this week. Thanks to everyone for looking out for me. So she's like, not happening.
Not happening. Like, and the fact that he didn't even like it to begin with. He said, stop calling me that. It's just... Come on.
The flip. And then because girls or men or people will pay for that, for you to take advantage and be like, let me charge you $70 for 10 days. He said 10 days to read the book. I'm like, you guys.
Ridiculous.
One girl stood on TikTok, I can't remember her username, where she was like, stop giving men who don't read books leverage over you.
Yes.
Because for sure this guy doesn't know anything about the series, maybe like the Cliff Notes.
Yes.
But he doesn't care.
He has not read the book.
No, he was going to read Nightfall, okay? He wasn't going to start from the beginning. He was just going to read Will's book at Nightfall. I got like... Oh my gosh.
Like he could have done so many things. Like he could have just like reenacted scenes on TikTok or like, just ran with it that way.
Yeah.
He would have gotten views. He would have gotten money. Yeah. Like
you would have gotten paid on your own channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Not charging people.
100%.
And we were having a discussion prior that I think not we, I don't fucking do this.
Yeah.
But these people who want to fan cast, which I get it, you want to see a person physically, then in your imagination, but you have to stop giving these people power over books that you love and letting them take advantage of that. Mm-hmm. Just because you see someone randomly on TikTok, these guys are posting thirst traps, obviously before being fan casted.
Exactly.
Do it in your mind, but to like give them such a higher threshold of like, you are Will Grayson. It's like, okay.
And then it becomes their whole personality.
Yes.
Like I've seen the Damon Torrance guy. Like he is like that's all he does.
That's all he does. And like he says like certain quotes. Like this is so cringe to me.
I know. He even
So
has like a
cringe.
tattoo.
Does he
Like,
really?
yes.
No way.
He has 3 of the horsemen on him, and then he's like, "I'm the 4th one."
Stop,
Like,
stop,
I was
stop.
dying.
Stop right now. Stop.
Dying.
Yeah, like, oh my God.
Ridiculous.
Ew, 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 ew.
Yeah.
I am all for fan casting. It's fun seeing those videos
Yeah.
and things, but like to try and make those guys become those guys
and profit off of it.
yeah, it's just it's icky.
Yeah.
It's icky, it's
I
gross. But yeah, that's the drama because all the girl talk people are like, why are you giving these guys
Yeah.
power over you? Don't charge them.
Exactly.
Or sorry, don't pay for that
Yeah.
service, which is illegal again. By the,
100%.
like, you cannot do
You
that.
don't have permission.
No, you're not the actual Will Grayson of this book, okay? She did not appoint you,
A
okay?
fictional character.
Yes, a fictional character. But the author hasn't even like told you like, yeah, he's the
Yeah.
fan cast, which I don't think
Exactly.
authors do anyway.
No, exactly.
No. Ugh.
It's to the reader's discretion.
Yes. And I know people, which I found out through this controversy, people do charge for book clubs. I don't know why. I haven't really looked into it. But I can see you charging for something $5. You guys all read it together.
Yeah.
But not redistributing it out. But to charge $70.
70.
Like, that is
Steep.
wild. Steep. I couldn't. No thanks.
Craziness.
So, Santana, what's this episode about? What are we going to do
So
today?
we are going to be kind of reviewing Haunting and Hunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton.
H.D. Carlton, since Santana and I both read this, we kind of
Yes.
chat about it briefly on this podcast. We thought, let's just kind of go through it. It's not going to be
Yeah.
a book club like book.
Yes.
But we just thought, we might as well just chat about
Yeah,
it.
we both read it. So why
Yeah,
not?
why not? So, spoilers, if you
Yes.
haven't read them,
Yes.
don't listen. And also trigger warnings.
Yes,
Because
major trigger warnings.
these books are controversial and they talk about very deep and traumatic
Dark.
dark content. So if that's not something you're comfortable with, you can just skip this episode.
Yeah.
And yeah, catch us next week. So
100%.
how do you want to get into it?
So we can just kind of describe the book. So Haunting Adeline is basically about Adeline Riley. She's a young author. She's gotten possession over this house that was her grandmother's. It's been in their family for a long time. So great-great-grandmother first built it. And there's a lot of like haunting things that goes on in this house. A lot of people have died in this house.
Yeah.
Right? So it kind of starts off like that. And then we kind of get an introduction to Zade as well, which is her stalker. And he is also, he hunts these sex traffickers.
Yeah, he's like a vigilante.
Human sex. What am I?
I don't know. Human traffickers.
Human traffickers.
He has like a
yeah.
company which he employs other people
Yeah.
to figure out in the specific town at the moment. There seems to be like a high rate of human trafficking.
Yes.
And he goes in and he, can we say murder? I guess we can say murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say murder.
Unalived.
Unalived these men and these
Yes.
organizations of men.
Yeah.
We both read this on Kindle. It was our first book.
Our first books on Kindle.
Our first
Starting
on
off
Kindle.
with a bang.
Yes, I'll ask you, what made you want to read the book?
I just heard such good things about it. It was so highly rated on like TikTok and, Goodreads and all that. It had, I think, 4 stars.
I think
Or-
yes,
Yeah.
yes, it does.
Yeah. So I was like, why not? And a lot of people were saying good things. So figured I'd try it out.
Yeah, and it's easy when you find a book that you're semi-interested. You see it on your
Yeah,
Kindle. You're
exactly.
like, it doesn't hurt to
And
do
it
that.
sounded good too. Like I was like,
Yes.
oh, it sounds like a good story.
Yeah.
Right?
If you're listening, you obviously have read it. I really was like gripped. From
Yeah.
the moment I started the book, I was
Me
really
too.
gripped because she does a very good job at keeping you interested,
Mm-hmm.
especially with this first book when it delves into Gigi.
Yes.
And her story.
Yes.
I was like, I need to know more.
I know.
I need to know what's going on. And
Yeah.
then who's this guy who just sees her at a book signing and
Exactly.
immediately
He's like, she's mine.
Yeah,
I'm
you're like-
obsessed. I'm like, okay. Okay.
At first, I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
And then I just was like, okay,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Typical stalker obsessed.
Yeah. I just was curious as to like how they were going to interact
Yeah.
and how this book was going to it was going to lead into something.
Yes.
You know, because you're like, why would a girl be interested in a guy?
Exactly.
Even though he's hot, why would you want to like
stalking her?
Yes.
Like watching her outside this house and everything, right? But yeah, I really like the fact that it was also diving into like her great-great-grandmother Gigi's murder as well. She's trying to figure out who murdered her through her journals that she finds in the house. And then, yeah, it was almost like, yeah, you get 3 stories in one, basically.
Because doesn't it go into Gigi's point of view too? She reads the letters.
I think she just gets, you get her point of view
The diary?
through the journals or diaries.
Yeah.
So I really like that aspect
Something
of
in
it.
my eye. No, me too. I think that's what it kept me going, and I think the spicy scenes were just like the icing on the cake in a sense.
Yes.
We're not going to go into full detail because this isn't a book review
Yeah.
podcast, but I thought we would kind of hit like major points of the book.
Yeah, so eventually Zade kind of finds out this society, and it's like the main ring of like sex trafficking in the area. So he's basically trying to take down this society, right? What else happened there? There's a lot that goes on, but like, we don't want to get too into it.
No, maybe I'm just gonna do on like the exciting points.
Yeah.
Like when Zade first interacts with what the fuck's her name again?
Claire?
Oh my god. Oh, is it
Claire, yeah, she's like the first it's her husband Mark, who he's trying to track down. He gets in good with this Mark guy.
Okay.
Who is like the society, he thinks is the society's leader.
Yes,
Right? So
yes.
he goes to his house and then he's trying to like hunt down and like take them down that way. Like he's getting close with them. But eventually he kills Mark, but he realizes, oh, he's not the head. It was his wife, which you find out kind of at the very end of the book,
that's
right?
right. That's
Who
right.
he thought was like some innocent woman, like very like abused by her husband.
You thought she was a victim of the whole situation.
100%. But
that
she
was pretty good.
Yeah, I
that
like
was a pretty good
twist.
ending to the book.
Yeah, I like that twist. I was like, oh.
Well, it makes it definitely kept you interested. Again, H.G. Carlson was really good at just keeping you on your toes because I never would have expected that either.
Yeah.
I think we have to talk about the gun scene.
Oh gosh, the gun scene. Oh my god. I texted you immediately. I'm like, what the hell?
Like the cat and mouse of him kind of like slowly trying to get meet her and interested in her, and then like I think that has to be the first scene.
I think
where,
it is.
where physical things have happened.
100%.
And I don't know. What did you think of that?
I was just like, whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Insane.
Insane.
Yeah.
It was like so uncomfortable.
I think, I was just like, how does she enjoy that?
I don't know.
But she did.
She's very into like the adrenaline.
Yeah, the fear aspect.
Yes, the fear aspect. And that's why in the beginning, it really started with, I think, her point of view and why she's so interested of figuring it out because it doesn't scare her, which I think melds together with Zade.
Yeah.
And that's why it wasn't like too shocking, I guess.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know? Which I really enjoyed.
Because she likes that, being hunted.
Yes. There was like a quote. Well, we're going to be all over the place, but that's okay. Which I think works and it makes sense. It's in the book, obviously. When you make someone fall in love with you, with the darkest parts of you, there's nothing you can do that will scare them away. Which is perfect because it's so true.
Totally.
Like, from the beginning, Zade, is showing like, hey, this is who I am.
Yeah, I'm a psycho.
I'm a psycho. But he doesn't really give her the option to not.
Exactly.
to back away.
He's like, too bad.
Too bad. You're going to like this. And he's just lucky.
Yeah.
And then one of her quotes in the book is, I'm falling in love with my stalker, the shadows that haunt me in the night, the man that hunts me down and completely wrecks my entire world. So they're kind of like a match made in heaven.
And it was also interesting because Gigi, or her great-grandmother, also had a stalker who she fell in love with.
Yeah, and would you think that was kind of like, I don't know, too cheesy.
Yeah, I was almost like, what are the chances, right?
Yeah, like I definitely thought that too. Like, what are the chances? But
Yeah.
it didn't seem too out there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It just, like, it blended well with the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh my God.
Totally.
You know, it was, I enjoyed that aspect of it too.
Okay, I'm going to read like 1-star reviews because this book is very not well liked. But it's either like you either don't like it or you love it.
Yeah.
There's no middle ground, you know?
Yeah.
Actually, do you remember your rating?
Yes, I rated
we're
it
gonna go
4
on
stars.
4 stars? I think
Yes.
mine was like 3.75. Why did you rate it 4 stars?
I just loved it. Like, I loved the whole book. It kept me on my toes the whole time. It was definitely a page turner for me because I was like, what is going on here? I need to know more.
Would you buy the book for yourself?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just...
I was 3.5 stars. 3.5 stars. I gave it that rating because I did enjoy it as well. I can't remember why I didn't give it. I think it's because it's not a book that I would typically recommend for people. If you're not into dark genre romance, obviously don't pick this book up.
Obviously
You are not going to like
You
it.
have to enjoy dark romance to read
Yes.
this book. Yeah.
And so I think that's why I give it 3.5. Because for me, 4 stars is something I would recommend.
Yeah.
This one I think I teeter on. If I know you like dark romance, then of course I think you should definitely pick this book up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Let's see these funny 1-star ratings. Oh my God. Oh, this one is cringy. Okay, it's like, quote, "You're so fucking creamy," unquote. And then this girl goes, "What?"
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Yeah, because she does call Zade creepy quite a bit.
No, creamy.
Oh, creamy! I thought you said creepy.
No, he goes, "You're so fucking creamy."
I thought you said because she calls him creepy a lot in the book, so that's why I thought you were saying that. Creepy.
Oh my God.
Gross.
It's
Ew.
It's so cringe. Even we find this cringe.
Yeah.
Okay, we still enjoy them. Yeah. Oh, where's the other ones?
Creamy.
Creamy. Ew, it's like saying wet. Get out of here. No, moist.
Moist. I was just gonna say moist.
Yeah.
I hate that word.
This one person does 5 stars. I need therapy.
100%.
Oh my goodness. Okay, this is a weird review. 3 stars. I'm sorry. This book just wasn't what I thought it was. I was expecting a good horror story in the vein of Stephen King, and this definitely was not. I'm sorry.
What?
How would
No,
you
not even close.
Why would you
like
think
there are
that?
mentions of ghosts in the book, but it's not like a horror.
Why would you think, looking at the cover, that you'd be like, "Oh, this could be like Stephen King"? Okay, come on now.
No.
No. So stupid. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, that was pretty much it.
Oh.
Like it did end off on a cliffhanger, which immediately I was like, okay, I need to read the next book.
So the cliffhanger was her getting captured.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the blow up at like this underground. Zade was infiltrating the society. There was a huge explosion, and in the meantime,
Because she gets taken.
Addie's getting taken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great ending
It
too.
was a good
I was like,
ending.
oh my
I was
God.
like, oh, I got to read the next one.
Oh. What was your
Immediately.
rating for the next one?
4 stars as well.
I think mine was 3 stars. I was 3 stars.
Yeah, the Hunting Adeline is very dark. Like it is much darker than the first one.
It was
I would say.
100%. Those scenes of her being captured.
Yeah. Groomed. And the first half, she's taken by the society. She's going to be basically sex trafficked now, like sold to people, right? Just a very dark tone to the first half of the book.
Ooh, and going into this like house in the middle of nowhere with all these other girls, you just know what's coming.
Oh, yeah.
But it makes sense for what the first book was about.
Yeah.
For this to happen to Adeline.
Exactly.
Because it was hinting at it already in the
Yeah,
first
it
book.
was.
Because that's why they were so interested in her.
Yeah.
That was so hard for me to read.
I know.
I didn't like it at all. I definitely skimmed when it got into details because it got into details. And And then we finally, I think it was like halfway. Like it was like 50% of the book
It
was
yeah.
her in that house.
It was. Yeah.
So once it got past that halfway, I definitely really enjoyed him.
Yeah, the second half of the book was really good. That's why I gave it such a high rating, because the second half of the book was so well done, I found. Yeah.
How did it end again?
Ended, they took down Claire, they killed all those people.
Yep.
And then basically it was like he proposes to her and happily
yeah,
ever
like
after.
Okay, yeah, it was like kind of quickly. What did you think about her? Because remember there was one guy who
Rio.
was, yeah. What did you think about her not wanting Zade to end him?
I mean, I understood why she wanted it, but if it was me, I'd be like, no, kill him. 'Cause
Yeah.
he was the reason. He's the guy who took her. So he was the reason why she was there in the first place. It was almost like Stockholm Syndrome, I want to say.
Oh, totally.
In a bit, because he was taking care of her, and he was also kind of being held hostage a little bit.
Because of his sister,
His
right?
sister was trafficked, and they had threatened him, like, if you don't do as you're told, we will kill her, right? So I understood why she didn't want him, but if that was me, I'd be like, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, like I appreciate you trying to be nice, but you need to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay? Like I'm sorry you're just being held hostage, but you still were participating.
Yeah, exactly.
So like
he was the reason why she was there.
that's the biggest part.
Main part, right? It's
It wouldn't have happened if you didn't take her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think I enjoyed the arc of the characters and the ending to the book. I think it was like a nice conclusion.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And just her like trying to be herself again after all that trauma, right?
It wasn't like fast into it. Which
it took her a long time, and even to get close with Zade again, because, you know, she didn't want to be touched. She didn't want to be, you know, she was scared he was even going to love her anymore because of this, right?
Yeah, I think that definitely is so relatable.
Yeah, and realistic too, right?
Because I'm assuming anyone who's had any sort of trauma in terms of sexual, that it'd be so hard to feel comfortable in your body.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think overall, if you like dark romance, it's a great book.
It is.
Two books. It's definitely the darkest.
Yeah.
For me that I've read.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of
and the
content.
side characters were really good in this book too.
Yes.
I really appreciated the side characters. And the second book, Sibby was quite funny to me, the crazy girl.
Yeah, she definitely
was funny. Yeah. She had her moments.
Hated her,
yeah,
but she did have her moments.
Yeah, she was funny, right? But yeah, I just thought overall it was a great story, and
I don't think it's a book series to start if you're like, hey, I'm curious about dark romance.
No,
Please
don't dip your toes into this one.
Nope, don't
This
start
one
with it,
is
please,
dark.
because this could definitely turn you away.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
So don't. I think
Don't start off with this.
Don't after this. After these books, please don't make it your first one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's too much.
100%.
Oh gosh.
What did you rate this one?
I think 3 or 2.
Just because of the first half?
Just because of the first half, I did not enjoy. So it definitely was lower.
Yeah.
Are you going to read like the other books about
I
it?
think maybe I'll read Gigi's story. I'm not too interested in Sibby's.
Yeah, I don't really care for Sibby. She was a
yeah.
great character, but I don't need to make her human
Yeah.
in my mind. Like
Exactly.
I don't. She was good for where she is. I don't need to.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd definitely read Gigi's, though. Gigi's story.
Let's see. Where's Molly?
Oh, yeah, and Molly as well. Molly was...
She was a
in
the second book.
Yeah, in the second book, Adeline had found these journals. Basically, Molly was trying to escape as well, and I think she was one of the only girls who did actually escape.
Oh, I can't remember.
I believe that's what was said.
So this is already out. Where's Molly? And yes, it is about the one who did escape from that situation.
I don't think I would read that one just because it takes place in that home.
Yes.
Again, right, which was really tough to read. I don't think I'd want to revisit that.
Yeah, I know. I understand you wanting to expand, but I think you have to be a really person who's like okay with reading that because I feel
Yeah.
like, okay, well, 50% of one book is fine, but I don't want to keep reading about a certain
Yeah.
and in details because, no
Yeah, it was
thanks.
brutal.
My internet is not working. I think there's one more in that. Because there is a book. I don't
Yeah,
think it's out yet.
it's Satan's Affair, Where's Molly, and then there's Gigi's book, but I'm not exactly sure what the title
What
is
is
on
Satan's
that one.
Fair? Oh, Sybil. Satan's
Yes.
Fair is Sybil. And what's the other one you said?
I don't know what Gigi's. I think is it out yet? I'm not sure.
I'm trying to find it right now, you guys. Give me a second. Phantom?
Oh, Phantom. Yes,
I think that's what it is.
Yes, that's what it's
So,
showing me here.
That's
as well.
going to come out. We'll keep you guys posted of when it comes out.
Yeah.
But I'd be interested into reading that because in the book, it didn't seem like Gigi and her stalker was anything negative.
Yeah, too crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can deal with that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll be curious too, how did she, because Gigi was married.
Yes.
Whereas as Adeline was a single woman.
Yeah,
so that's
exactly.
a whole different,
Yes.
like, what, you're married and you have a stalker.
And you're falling in love with him.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's-
I would enjoy it. I want to read that one for sure.
That's taboo.
Yes.
Well, we just thought we'd kick off this first episode of February, kind of quick and simple. What do we have next week?
Next week, it is Valentine's Day, the 14th. So we're going to be
is.
going through latest releases for romance novels. So.
Yeah, we thought we're trying to make something a little bit different for these next months and just giving you guys new releases for each month that we are in. So next week we'll be talking about specifically February. And since because it is Valentine's Day, that we would
Yes.
choose romance leaning books. So stay tuned for that next week.
Yes.
We'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.